friend Christopher Harold here for episode 120 in the Kingdom Marketing Secrets podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about maybe so, maybe not, we'll see. Check this out.
It's about that time, and now it's going down, and we ain't letting nothing stop us, ain't no slowing down. Now, it's Kingdom Marketing Secrets, and every single week you gotta appear this.
I think it's finally time. I think it's time to flow. I think it's time to start this podcast so they can know the right tips and strategies that bring success. It calls heaven on earth and our busyness. But this is all true because he changed the game and brought the kingdom to every soul representing his name. Now position yourself in him to be blessed and bring heaven on earth in your busyness. It's about that time and now it's going down, and we ain't letting nothing stop us, ain't no slowing down. Nah, it's Kingdom Marketing Secrets, and every single week you gotta be this. It's about that time, and now it's going down, and we ain't letting nothing stop us, ain't no slowing down. Nah, it's Kingdom Marketing Secrets, and every single week you gotta be this.
Welcome to Kingdom Marketing Secrets, where you'll hear the best tips, tactics, and takeaways, and any other cool words starting with T, so you can advance your business online the Kingdom way. Welcome your host, Christopher Harold.
Hey, welcome back, my friend. I am Christopher Harold, best-selling author of Kingdom Affirmations and founder of God's Masterpiece, where we have Christ-centered coaches, consultants, and experts go from overworked and overwhelmed to creating a full sales pipeline, generating automated leads and clients, while they can be able to discover the kingdom assignment and impact and influence the world using our God's Masterpiece Rapid Success System. And so, really excited about what we're doing in God's Masterpiece. Actually, I got our new shirts on. See, we got some brand new God's Masterpiece shirts right now. I got some different colors. And hey, if you happen to be a member of God's Masterpiece, we got some shirts coming your way. So I'm excited, guys. But no, this episode here we're going to talk about today, guys, is going to be really good. And it's going to challenge you on your perspective, right? Your perspective. And so it's called Maybe So, Maybe Not, We'll See. See, one thing I have discovered more and more as we grow our company here, as we have more and more clients and students be a part of our God's Masterpiece family, and as we impact and influence a whole lot more lives with our master classes and challenges and Kingdom virtual events, I'm seeing something that's prevalent through this. Something that is missing from a lot of people, right? And one thing I want to share with you, what's missing for so many people where they're coming up short is perspective. Perspective, right? And perspective all deals with what? Your mindset. See, my friend, listen, for you to succeed in your business, for you to fulfill your kingdom assignment, it's all about how you think. I always say this, 92.8% of your success is up here. It's up here. See, the remaining percentage, 7.2%, the strategies, that's just the strategies. But it all starts here. There's a reason why when the king came to earth 2,000 years ago, his first public proclamation was repent. The first word out of his mouth was repent. Why? Because this has to do with the way your mind is positioned. Has nothing to do with remorse. Has nothing to do with religion. Has nothing to do with salvation. It's here on how you think. See, here's a fact. I'm going to share this with you. Money is an idea. See, most of us think money is some physical, tangible, green paper, right? Money is not that. Money is simply an idea. Abundance is an idea. And on the flip side of that coin, poverty is an idea. If you're struggling right now, if you're having challenges right now, it's because of what's going on up here, right? First. Then it's your skills. Then it's the things you're not doing. But it's here first. See, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the way they think. Not necessarily what they do, but how they think first and foremost. And what I'm talking about today, and maybe so, maybe not, we'll see, it's going to challenge you on perspective. Because, see, you and I tend to live in the moment, right? We tend to live in the moment. And by us living in the moment, we can tend to miss out on perspective. See, one of the most beautiful things that God does, and that he wants us to learn and begin to do, is to see the end from the beginning, to see the bigger picture. See, most of us live for this moment. Our mind is consumed with what's going on today. Well, I need to pay my bills. I need to do this. Well, I need to get more clients. I need to grow my business. I need to do whatever it is, right? We're consumed with that. And we're not thinking big picture. So our perspective is jaded, and it prevents us from seeing what's truly there. And I want to share with you this story that I read that inspired this, called Maybe So, Maybe Not, We'll See. And I want to challenge you on your perspective. And I want you to think about currently where you are right now in your business and your life and your faith, right? Your walk with the Creator, right? I want to challenge you on perspective. So here's this story. I want you to follow me with this story. There was a story that dates back a few years, but the story is basically there was a village, right? And in this village there was a wise man, and everyone respected that wise man, right? When they wanted sound, kind of like biblical days in the King Solomon days, we go see King Solomon, right, for wisdom, right? And so they respected what this person had to say. They went to this person for advice. Actually, this person was kind of like, their guidance factor, right? And so one day, one of the people living there had an ox, right? And they used ox, just like in the biblical days. Having an ox is like having a freaking Mercedes, Lamborghini. It's everything. If you don't have an ox, you didn't have a livelihood, right? So they had an ox because why? It was out there, using the fields to develop the crops and everything like that, right? Very strong animal. And one day, the ox got old and the ox died. And so the ox died, and so the person went to go see the wise man to seek some advice and wisdom because he was distraught when his ox died. So he went to go see the wise man and said, "Hey, wise man, my ox died on me. My ox croaked. What am I going to do? This is my livelihood. Isn't this the worst thing that could ever happen to me? Wise man." And the wise man looked at him and said, "Maybe so, maybe not." And so the person looked at the wise man like, "What? Man, you crazy." So he left, went to the town, and told folks in the town. I went to the wise man, told him what happened to my ox. And he told me, "Maybe so, maybe not." He was like, "Isn't this the worst thing that happened to me?" Other folks were like, "Yeah, this is the worst thing that happened to you." Right? And so he went to bed distraught, frustrated, concerned, and worried about how am I going to survive? How am I going to live? The very next day, while he was out in his yard, just looking, still mourning the loss of his ox and lost, he happened to see a wild horse. And the wild horse evidently was lost. And it got trapped in like some brush. And he happened to see this wild horse, and he had a thought. He was like, if I can get that wild horse, I can use it to pull, my plow. I can use it. It can replace my ox. So he chased down the wild horse. He captured the wild horse and brought it home, and he put it to the plow and began using it. And he was amazed. He was just astounded. He was just blown away by what happened. So he was so excited. And you remember what the wise man told him. He went back to see the wise man later that night and said, wise man, guess what? I found a horse today, and I was able to use the horse to replace my ox. Plus the horse is younger. The horse is stronger. And so now I see what you were saying, wise man. So wise man, isn't this the best thing that ever happened to me right now, wise man, that I found this horse after my ox died yesterday? Isn't this the best thing that happened to me, wise man? Please tell me yes. And the wise man thought about it. And he looked at him and he said, maybe so, maybe not. And the man was like, dude, you're crazy. This is awesome. So he went to town, told everybody, the wise man losing his mind. The wise man is crazy. I got a horse now to replace my ox. Well, about 4 or 5 days later, the man's son was trying to train and tame the horse, because this was a wild horse, right? So he was out trying to ride the horse, trying to break the horse in to get used to humans. Well, the horse happened to buck and threw the man's son off the horse, and the man's son actually went and broke his leg. Right? Snapped it in half. Pow! Broke his leg. The horse kicked him off. The father came out and saw his son hollering and crying. They had to take him get to the doctor, get everything fixed. Excuse me. Hold on. A little water here. And everyone was distraught. His son was young, strong, and now his leg was broken. So the man went back to the wise man and said, man, wise man, how is it that I found a horse who replaced my ox? Now the horse broke my son's leg. Excuse me. What's going on, wise man? This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. What's going on? Wouldn't you agree, wise man? This is horrible. This is bad. My son's leg is broken by this horse that I found. I should never mess with this horse. Isn't this the worst thing that ever happened to me, wise man? Wise man thought about it, looked at him and said, maybe so, maybe not. So the man left mad now, because the wise man's not giving him any sound advice whatsoever. He's confused. He's ticked off. He goes back home, tells everybody that wise man is a lunatic. Do not go to this fool for anything. Well, 48 hours later, the U.S. military, not the U.S. military, 48 hours later, a war kicked off in the land. And the military did basically a draft. And the military came to that tribe, to that village, and said, hey, we need every able young body now to come and fight this war for us. And so what happened? Every young man, strong, able body, was drafted and pulled into the war and was headed to sure death. Everyone except who? This father's son who had a broken leg because he could not go. And when the father saw this, he was like, oh, wow. My son is still here with me while everybody else's son is gone, headed to sure death in this war. So he went back to the wise man, like, wise man, oh my goodness, you are so right. I can't believe this. The military came into town today. They took every able-bodied young man off the war and headed to a sure death. And everybody went except my son, wise man. So this is the best thing that ever happened to me, wise man. Wouldn't you agree, wise man, this is the best thing ever? And the wise man once again looked at him and said, maybe so, maybe not. What's the moral of this story? The moral of this story is, what has been happening to you, good, bad, or indifferent, you don't know the true outcome of it. You don't know the reason or why it's happening. And the things that you and I think are bad can be the best thing ever happened to us. The things that you think that are happening to you or that are good for the moment could be some of the worst things that ever happened to us. The point is that you want to live life not too high, not too low, and not caught up in your emotions based on what's happening. Because just like the wise man said, it reminds me of Romans 8:28. It says what? All things. How many things? All things. Some things? No, all things. Work together for good for those who love God and those who are called according to what? His purpose. It means that everything that has happened to us can work itself out for our good, even the bad. And so I can look back on the past couple of years in our business. When we launched God's Masterpiece in the middle of a pandemic where we had nothing. In March of 2020, I lost all my clients. Our income went to zero in the company. And at that time, if you would have asked me, was it the worst thing that could happen to me? I probably would have said yes. But little did I know that God had a master plan in place where he allowed me to launch God's Masterpiece. And now we have impacted tons of lives all across the U.S., to Canada, UK, and many other countries abroad. I wrote a best-selling book called Kingdom Affirmations. I've helped so many entrepreneurs 2x, 3x, and 10x their business. And while being betrayed by a former mentor and having the best years ever financially and revenue since I've ever been in business. So despite those things, if I would have went to the wise man in March 2020, it would have been worse to me. And he would have said, maybe so, maybe not. Then I would have went to the wise man 6, 7, 8 months later and said, man, it's the best thing ever. He would have said, well, maybe so, maybe not. Because a lot of stuff has happened in the middle of all these things that led up to this point. But when good things happen to me, when bad things happen to me, now I can stay even keeled. And I just say, Chris, is this the worst thing that ever has happened right now in your life? Maybe so, maybe not. Chris, is this the best thing that's ever happened right now in your life? Maybe so, maybe not. The point is that, my friend, perspective. And realizing that since you and I don't know the end, God knows the end from the beginning. We have to live it. So, and everything happens in seasons. There are seasons of prosperity. There are seasons of famine. There are seasons of victory. There are seasons of defeat. There are seasons of happiness. There are seasons of unhappiness. It's life. And it's all about staying grounded and having a proper perspective and not getting too high and not getting too low. And reminding yourself, maybe so, maybe not, because we will see. So if this inspired you, if you got value from this episode, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode 120. If it spoke to you in some kind of way that made you self-examine things that are happening to you right now, let me know. Go on my Instagram page at Christopher_Harold. Take a snapshot of this episode and say, Chris, this is what I found most valuable about this episode. Or go on Facebook at our Chris Harold team profile and say, hey, Chris, this is what I found most valuable. Or even outside of our God's Masterpiece Academy Facebook group, which is free. We have a free academy for Christ-centered coaches, consultants, and experts who want to be able to grow your business. We got a free Facebook group and also a free membership site for you guys as well. It's simply at our God's Masterpiece Academy group. If you're in that group right now already, let me know what you found most valuable about this episode. And so I hope this helped you. I'm excited, my friend. We got some awesome things coming up for you guys. I got some huge announcements. I can't let the cat out the bag right now, but just stay tuned, guys. And hey, remember this, put God first in all that you do. And if you happen to be a coach, consultant, and expert, and you want to be able to 2x, 3x, and 10x your business right now online, you can go to follow the steps at godsmasterpieceacademy.com. Or if you're ready right now to do some big things, simply go to workwithchrisharold.com and follow the steps there and see what we can do for you. See if you're a good fit for what we're doing right now. God's doing some major things inside of God's Masterpiece with our clients and students. So I'm excited, guys. So again, remember this. Put God first in all that you do, and you too shall succeed. Until the next episode, my friend, peace and God bless.
Thanks for listening to Kingdom Marketing Secrets. For more powerful resources to grow your business the Kingdom way, go to kingdommarketingsecrets.com. If this podcast has impacted you, we ask you to subscribe, post a review, and share it with a friend.